Hey y'all, Darvell here, back with a bonus video. One last one I forgot almost to do. So once you pass the PMP exam and you're certified, it's over in terms of the first step. Everything following that is just continuing education that you need to get over the few years cycle periods to maintain your certification. They'll explain that to you both in the class, and it will be very clearly laid out for you in the PMI website on your dashboard for your certification. So that's not really a big deal, and there's a lot of ways to do that. I've not started that process yet, but I look forward to that journey and the connections and the different things I'm going to learn as I continue to maintain my certification. However, what I wanted to talk about today real quickly on this topic of video is, I got the certification now, what can I do with it? So the quick heavy things are, one, if you have a LinkedIn profile, quickly go ahead and add the PMP credential to your LinkedIn profile. You'll add it under your actual certification section, and then you'll also add it to your name. Actually, in your last name, you'll put a comma and then write PMP at the end behind your name so that it will show that you're in PMP. And thirdly, you can also add it in your headline for your page. So that's typically where people write like their little tweet about their personal brand and what they do or where they're currently working. And so you can add PMP as a project management professional in there or something like that. You can look for examples on LinkedIn and on other websites as to how maybe to creatively add PMP into that section if you want to promote it in that way. But in general, definitely add it to your name, and definitely add it in the credentials section of your LinkedIn profile. And I'm just gonna pull mine up over here. Forget my language for getting so loud with you, but it's not under your experience, it's not under your education, it goes under licenses and certifications. So just be aware of that. So make sure you do that first. Secondly, update your resume, right? Add it under the certification section of your current resume, because it's easy to forget later, as crazy as that is, and then send the resume off, with some tweaks for the job you're applying for, and forget to add the so important PMP. And again, there you can add it under that certification section, or however you feel it best fits on your resume. And you can also add the PMP acronym as a credential after your name if you wish, or on your summary line under your name. However your resume is set up, make sure you take advantage of putting that on the resume. I haven't updated, I think I updated my base resume, but I've definitely updated my LinkedIn. Now, the third thing besides the resume and the LinkedIn is well, hold on. Before I get to that, let me just mention something else about LinkedIn. Two things. One, you can download a PDF of your certificate from the PMI site after it's issued. That's the first thing. Then I would upload that certificates as a PDF to LinkedIn. You'll see that you can do that through the website. And then you also need to provide a URL, or you can provide a URL on the website. If you are you can provide a URL into LinkedIn when you're adding this certification. And what I did is I actually added the actual URL to the Credly website. So like I told you, there's that Credly website. I added the URL to Credly as part of my entry for my PMP certification on my LinkedIn. And so Credly, when you go to that page, it will actually show your name and show you and show to people when it expires and when it was issued. It says it's a badge, but it's really a full PMP. They call it a badge on Credly, but it's the full certification actually. And so they can click a button that says verify. And I can show this right now. I think they can click a button that says verify, and it'll go and pull that information from PMI and double check it at that moment. So it's just updated, or it's last updated on September 2nd. I don't know why it's showing. That's goofy. Anyway, because it's definitely not the 2nd as I'm making this video, and I don't know why it doesn't go and recheck that on PMI site. What if my junk was, rescinded? What if they found out I was a bad guy? All right, that's not funny. All right, anyway. That's how that looks. So the big thing I wanted to mention is, if you've been paying attention in these videos, you notice that over here right here on top of this storage rack that's on this table behind me. In the past videos, you've actually seen my PMP certification over there. Now it's not there. It's because I have it right next to me now. PMI back in the day used to actually print and mail you your certification. They quit doing that, I think, at the top of COVID. You know, save money. You don't need to be sending around no papers that people didn't be touching, right? Now you don't have any physical credential to show off on your wall or anything. You have to print it yourself. So that PDF is available for you in high fidelity should you wish to print it. And so I chose to do that because I wanted to put this on my table back there so it would be visible to me, to remind me that I actually got this done, along with my other certification there. And I have some other certs from work that I don't have out at all. So what you end up doing is you end up printing this off. And what I did personally is I printed it on my inkjet printer over here on my other side, put it on high quality. I actually used a cardstock paper to give it a little bit of weight and thickness and make sure it was able to, you know, absorb some good heavy color. And you can use other paper. I wouldn't be opposed to if you use like a resume paper that was white in primary color, but also has a little bit of texture to it. And I think that helps make it look more authentic for something that you had to print yourself. Another option is to actually send it to a print shop such as a Kinko's, and they can pick out some paper, some resume paper, and put it on that. And so you get a color laser print. I found that from my Epson printer, the quality was exceptional after a few runs. And so it was good enough because I actually did try to print it off at work. And the problem with the laser printer at work, a traditional commercial laser printer, is that it can't print to the very edge reliably. Apparently, I don't know. It can't do that on all four. And so you'd end up having to print it on a larger piece of paper, then cut it down to 8.5 by 11. Or you have to cut off the top and bottom regions where the printer couldn't cover. And then you got a piece of paper that's slightly out of normal proportion for the 8.5 by 11. So it might leave some unwanted gap on a frame if you put it into a frame. So to keep it to a traditional size of 8.5 by 11 for a printed document, I ended up just using my inkjet, which can go true to the edge with the ink and not have an issue. So when I did that, I also went to Michael's local craft store, so to speak, craft and hobby store, and I got a frame for the actual certificate and put it in a frame. Yes, that sounds like it's a lot. You probably don't need it. Don't worry. Don't do what I'm doing. Just click out of this video. But for me, I wanted to see it. So I went, and they weren't going to send it to me. So I printed it out myself on some good paper. And then I actually went and got a frame for it. And I put that in that frame. Now, the frame that I chose was a borderless clear frame with the little tabs around the edges. I'm going to show it to you in a second. And so it looked pretty good over there in my opinion, but it doesn't have a stand in the back to stand the actual document up. It can't stand the certificate up. So I ended up having to find another stand, so to speak, that was available at the same store, and I taped it to the back and kind of rigged it up. You don't know what you can't see, so it looks good. Anyway, this is my certificate once I printed it out. Let's see if it can show it well on the screen. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. I'm so sorry. This is it. Yes. So yeah, it turned out pretty decent. I like it. It looks good enough for me. As you can see, I got the clips on the edges and what have you. And then for the back, to stand this up over there, you're going to see something awful. Oh my gosh. I got this stand. It's actually backwards, and he mounted up against the backboard, and then I used some Gorilla Tape. So yeah, that's what's going on over there. Don't tell nobody. Anyway, I wanted to share that little hack that I did to get my certificate on display in my own home. There are other ways you can do it, of course, but there aren't any like PMP specific frames that I've seen, or PMI specific frames that I've seen like you can get for actual degrees where it has the school listed on the frame and engraved in it or what have you. I don't think such a thing exists for the PMI Project Management Institute or for the PMP, but you can find some pretty good stuff at as far as framing. You can find it at Michael's craft store, Hobby Lobby, places like that are hobby and framing stores. You can find some pretty good document frames. They're called document frames, or degree or diploma frames if you wish to show off your PMP for me, it was a thing that I did and I wanted to see it. So I decided to put it in something to show it off. And really the only person going to see it over here is me. But, you know, that's what I wanted to do. Anyway, that's how I capped out my PMP journey, is I printed off my new certificate and I put it on a stand, or I put it in a frame, and I put it over here with my other stuff that I've achieved and gotten to. And actually, it's kind of unfortunate. I have several other certificates and certifications and, you know, awards and what have you. And I don't really have a lot of it on display back there. There's a few things over there in the boxes, but I mean, not in boxes, but in the cubicles there that you can see, the open cubicles. But cubbies, if you will. But yeah, I didn't want to litter my wall with a lot of stuff. So I might do that in the future, get a new home, get new space to put up a bunch of random stuff. So anyway, thank you for your time once again. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comment section of this video, if you will. It enriches the learning and experience for those who might come along afterwards, and I will reply if it seems appropriate to get engaged with you. Again, I thank you. Please enjoy yourself and talk soon.